Hi everyone. I just wanted to welcome you to English 162 W3, the technical communication class for the late start. My name is Michael Ritzik and I will be teaching your class from time to time during the semester, but particularly beginning of the semester. I'll make a few YouTube videos to introduce you to the class and then also to briefly talk a bit about our assignments. Technical communication really gets you to use some of the skills that you developed in college writing, because in college writing you probably had to do narration, you probably had to do description, comparison and contrast, exemplification, illustration, and so on. So this class will get you to use some of those techniques, but more so, this class gets you to look at effective sentence level writing, good use of transitions, specific detail and word choice, and of course, formatting. Formatting is really, really critical. You'll see in our book, particularly in the first four chapters, they use that ABC format. The ABC is the abstract, the body, and the conclusion. So no matter if it's a memorandum, letter, email, short report, whatever documents, written instructions, consumer report, and so on, we do the written instructions and consumer report for this class. That's why I mentioned them. But you will follow that consistently. So it's more of you combine some of the skills that you've learned before in strategies, and then you make them more effective, or use them more effectively, I would say, in this class. For those of you that are getting a two-year degree, you're getting your Associate of Applied Science or Associate of Arts, this is a perfect class to take. This class is slightly different than business communication because business communication focuses more on different types of reports and social media and so on. This class focuses more on the technical elements of writing. So, and if you are going to go to a four-year college or university, then you may also want to take English 164, which is advanced composition. So that's research writing. But you'll find this class to be very helpful. This week I had this mailed out to you, which is a sample assignments booklet for the course. And keep it even when you're done with the class. It has some pretty good examples in it. Some years ago when I taught this class in class, I had a student named Jim who was a machinist, and he got injured at work and he came back to school. And so I would explain the excitement assignments and write some information on the board and give some basic handouts. And he said, I'm used to doing blueprints, and he said, sometimes I have to read schematic diagrams and, different types of visuals to do work that I do. He said it would really help if you could do a booklet. So even though this is an online class, I do use this booklet and I do mail it to you. If you don't receive one by Friday, please email me and send me your correct address, because I just used the address that you gave the college. And I know, like in the summertime, some students are in other places or have moved and so on. So I just wanted to mention that to you. If you buy the book from WCCC, it looks like this. And they gave us a discount, not a whole lot, but some. They printed this, and since it doesn't have binding on the side, you can put it in a binder or so on. But this is the book, and you will use this the whole semester. If you bought a new copy of the book, it will have My Tech Com Lab in it. And what that is, it's an electronic version of our textbook. And if you want to start using it, right in the very top of assignments, there is a code that you can use that they'll ask you for joining the class. There's those instructions. You're not required to use My Tech Home Lab, but it's an optional supplement for you. And some people prefer the ebook. Even some students don't even buy the textbook; they just buy the card from the bookstore for the My Tech Home Lab, and they just use the ebook. The other advantage of My Tech Home Lab, it has a more detailed array of assignments, examples, and so on. If you bought the another edition of the of this book, the Technical Communication a practical approach, you will, you know, it looks like this. So it's, if you bought it from Amazon or half.com or somewhere else, that's what it will look like. So just wanted to mention that to you. And also wanted to tell you is if you've taken college writing, I want to encourage you to keep and use this little book. It's called The Brief Penguin Handbook with Exercises. Particularly, there's a couple sections in there on grammar and punctuation and so on. But even tab 4 on designing and presenting is pretty helpful. But tab 7 on effective style. Style is how you present your information, the sentence level writing, whether it's formal, somewhat formal, or informal. And then tab 8 has understanding grammar. Tab 9 has understanding punctuation and mechanics, particularly like if you're trying to understand how do I use a semicolon, how do I use a colon, what's the proper way to use dashes in writing, and that sort of those sorts of issues. If you ever wanted to buy a pretty good book, we used to actually use this for this class. It's called the Prentice Hall Reference Guide for Professional Writing, and it's actually by the same company that produced the Brief Penguin Handbook. A little bit, it's hard to see, but a little bit different is they have a section called Public and Professional Writing, and it's really quite good. But the same information, revising sentences, parts of sentences, punctuation, mechanics of spelling, style, and word choice, and those types of issues. But it's a little bit more geared for people that are writing in business courses or technical courses or working professionally, as a technical writer, a professional writer, an editor, and that sort of thing. There's a book that many students here at WCCC use, and it's called HOW. It's an acronym. It's the Handbook for Office Workers, and you can always look on Amazon or half.com or at a bookstore, and it's a really good book, but it's more geared for people that have to produce a wide array of publications. So, and if you ever work for a larger company or agency, and you can even type this into Google, NASA Style Guide, they have a style guide there, and they tell you how they want you to capitalize, or like third world. They'll probably want you to capitalize capital T and capital W, but like payload, like with a rocket, they use it as one word. Now, when I was in the Navy, we had the Naval Correspondence Manual, and now it's online. But what it was is like when someone boards a naval vessel, they'll say the captain is on board the ship, and that is one word. And then they'll tell you if you're going to say, are you in agreement with something, that would be two words as on board. I've had students that have worked for Caterpillar, larger companies, and they have a style guide, but they also have templates as far as for documents that they want you to produce, like an accident report, an injury report, or if they're seeing like equipment failure of a certain type with their bulldozers or their heavy equipment at a strip mine or whatnot, they have you submit certain information. I teach a criminal justice writing class, and we've had FBI agents that come here and talk, and they say that there's a definite FBI style of writing. It's a narrative style, but you have to start out a certain way in your paragraph. You have to use certain types of transitions, certain types of headings. Both my brother Steve and my sister Mary have worked for the CIA. They have a CIA style correspondence manual. My brother Steve said, if you don't write in the exact report, prescribed, the format prescribed by them, they'll call you back and say, hey, you have to come in and work on this report. Steve worked on Central Africa. He was an analyst, but that's something that you see. I also wanted to mention something to you that's pretty helpful, and probably most of you know that, but some of you do not. If you look in any of the Office suite programs, whether you're looking at Word, PowerPoint, Access, Visio, or Publisher, if you go into File and then you click New on those, you'll see there's a great variety of templates that you can use to produce documents such as memos, letters, newsletters, and so on. For you can use those for this class, but if you are when you're producing the consumer report and the written instructions in this class, and if they consume too much space as a Word document, then you can save them as a a PDF file. And if you ever use any of the other Office programs, such as like if you're ever doing something for work and you're using Microsoft Publisher, my wife Vicki works for Beth Houghton in the Early Childhood Education program, and they do an early childhood education newsletter, and they do these continuing education brochures, but she does them in Publisher, but she'll send them out as a PDF. And so in that way, anyone can even open them on their cell phone. So anyhow, I just wanted to let you know that with Word, there's a whole wide array of templates you can use. From 2007 to 2010, I went to Chatham University in Pittsburgh and got a second master's degree, and this one was in professional writing. But one of the classes that I took, it was a business writing course, and we had to design like something that would benefit our community. And so my design was to have a skateboard park in Mount Pleasant. And I had to do like a 10-second, a 15-second public service announcement, a 30-second. I had to do a brochure, I had to do a pamphlet, I had to do a letter of appeal, and many, many different documents. But they are all pretty much available in Word in the templates. And then Office also has other applications that they have available through their website as well. If you're running into problems in this class with something, for example, if you want to know how to create a visual organizer, and we're going to do that for the summary assignment, type that in YouTube. And if you're unfamiliar with, and YouTube will explain how to do a visual organizer. If you're unfamiliar with certain features of Word or whatnot, YouTube will help guide you along. But I just wanted to mention, like I said, some of the references that are available. I also always refer students to a website. It's owl.english.purdue.edu, which is the online writing lab for Purdue University. And so you don't need a www, but even if you want to just type that into Google, the Purdue Online Writing Lab, and it'll come up. And it has really good sections on business documents, style in writing, even documentation, but grammar, and it covers a whole array of really, really helpful information, writing an effective resume. When you get further along in your career, you may have to do a CV, which is what's called a curriculum vitae, which is a more advanced resume that's often used for academic type jobs or higher level executive type positions. When you're in this class, you are going to produce a resume, okay? And it doesn't have to be a really slick or fancy one. But as you go down the road further and get into your second or third or fourth job, I would advise you to pay a consultant to, or a technical writer, professional writer, resume writer, pay them a few $100s to write a good resume and a cover letter, and they could even write a couple different resumes for you for different types of jobs. That's a really, really, good advantage. And professionally as well, I'd encourage you to create a profile on www.linkedin.com, and that's a good place to connect with other professionals, but also to post a profile of yourself. And if you want to get a link together with me on LinkedIn, you can search me up, and then you can send me a request, and we can become linked together. And then later on down the road, if you ever need a letter of recommendation or something, I can write it right on LinkedIn, and that's an advantage. One of a former employee here at the college, she left and went down to St. Augustine, Florida, and on LinkedIn, I endorsed her, wrote a letter or recommendation. So did one of our deans, Doug Jensen, and then so did Sherry Knoll, the coordinator of career placement. So we all did that, and so that was an advantage for her. So I would encourage you, as I said, to get connected to LinkedIn. And we also use College Central here to post your resume and post some sample documents. And you can see, you can use that if you're, here earlier on in your college career, you can post some documents from other classes, and it's really nice because you can always forward your resume and your, your portfolio. So what I wanted to tell you a little bit was how I wanted you to set up documents, and I'll just go over this quickly so you understand that. When on the upper right-hand corner of documents, more so like the one that you're going to be doing on what your friends and family members think of you for assignment 1 and the evaluation of customer service that we have to do here in a couple weeks, ones like that. The one email assignment that we're going to do, which is assignment 2, you can see you can send that either as a Word document or as a email. But for your documents, click on Insert, and then click on page number, top of the page, and you'll see that, and then you'll select plain number 3, and it'll give you a page number, and then you can just type your last name, hit a space, and hit escape, and you'll have a header. And that's advantageous to me and you because I know which page you are on. Then on the left-hand corner, you're going to type your first and last name, and then you're going to put your class, which is ENG 162-W3, and then my name, Mr. Ritzik, so Mr., and then it's HRICIK, and then the date. Now with the date, you can always click on Insert, Date and Time, and you can select the third option, like September 18, 2013, and you can click on Update Automatically, and so the date will be updated every time you revise your document. So you can do that, and then you, hit a return, and then you center the title of your document, and then you just start to type. But that's how you do the the documents as far as how you set them up. And that makes it easier to have a standardized sort of format. The other point that I wanted to mention to you is when you're in your Outlook, for your email, what I want you to do is click on Options in the upper right-hand corner. Then I want you to select See All Options, and then you're going to have Settings, and then you will see that, and under Settings you're going to have an email signature. In your email signature, you want to put your first and your last name. You want to put your college major, or if you're undecided, you can say that. On your next line, you want to put WCCC. On the next line, you want to put 145 Pavilion. Pavilion is spelled Pavilion, Lane, and then Youngwood, comma, PA, and then 15697. After that, you will give a cell phone number or a point of contact if I need to get in touch with you quickly. After that, you will put your WCCC email, and then finally you will put an alternate email such as your Comcast, Gmail, or whatnot. See where it says automatically include my signature on messages I send? I want you to click that. Always show BCC, which is a blind carbon copy, and so you can certainly do that. And if you want to send somebody else a copy of a message and you don't want the recipient to know that, you can do that. And you can click Save. And the other one that I want you to click in here is, see where it says Spelling, and I want you to click the one that says Always Check Spelling Before Sending, and then you can click Save, and you can do that. Now, the only other item that I wanted to tell you about in email is when you send me an email, and we'll go through this throughout the semester, but I just want to make sure on the first day the first day or the first week or so that you understand this. When you send me your work, in some classes I know you submit it through the grade book, but in this class what I want you to do is email it to me at, my email address is ritzicam@wccc.edu. So you can send it to me as an attachment, and then I'll send it back to you as an attachment with my comments, okay? With your subject, put your first and last name, then put ENG 162-W3, and then the assignment that you're going to be sending, evaluation of customer service, assignment 1 or whatnot. If it's something else, question related to summary assignment, or going to the hospital or whatnot, that's fine. You can put that as part of your subject, but On some days, we'll get 110 emails, like on really busy days on the weekends. And so, I just want to make sure that I'm responding to email in a timely manner. And if you ever something that's really, really vital, there's an exclamation point, and you can hit that, and then it'll show an exclamation point in my email. And then under options in in your email, if you wish, you can always request a delivery receipt and a read receipt for a message for me or someone else. If you're sending something that's really, really important and you want to make sure that I have received it, that's an option you have. So I just wanted to be clear. When you send me an email in your first sentence, your first line, dear Mr. Ritzik, comma, and then I am sending you, tell me the name of the assignment and when it is due, period. And then in 2 or 3 sentences, tell me something about what you're sending. For this assignment 1, I spoke to 3 family members, and they all had vastly different opinions. I learned more than I expected, or whatever. And then finally, in the last sentence, tell me when to respond. So please respond by. And so, for example, assignment 1 is going to be due on Friday, September 27th. And so then you can ask me for a response by Friday, October 4th. And so then thank you, comma, or sincerely, comma, then your first and last name. I just want you to practice good email protocol for this class. And it also helps me, though, if you're very specific. Somebody sent me an email the other night and said, I don't understand the assignment that we're doing. Well, I have like 7 different classes, and so it helps with if I know what class you're in and what you're talking about. And that's like a lot of doctors these days will take email, and you can't say, hey, this is Michael Ritzik, I have a pain in my side. What should I do about it? You have to describe what it is or what you think it is. A friend of mine went to Las Vegas, and he developed shingles when he was out there. So he wrote a pretty good descriptive email to his doctor, and his doctor was able to figure out that he had, shingles, and he was able to get him a prescription in Las Vegas. And fortunately, when he was there for 4 days, it kind of diminished, and he was, it was really, really helpful. Of course, he could have gone to see a doctor there, but, his doctor was familiar with his medical history and so on. So, that's really, really important. Just the last thing that I wanted to mention to you, make sure to print off a copy of the syllabus and keep it by your desk to refer to. We follow it for the discussion board assignments. I have all the discussion board assignments posted for the semester. The other assignments that we're going to do, I have pretty much of those posted. For some of the ones it says to be announced. I didn't have all the dates filled in, so as we go through, with the different assignments, I'll put the dates in the assignments that they're due. But always follow the announcement for the course, because that just pretty much tells you what we're going to be doing, and make sure that you stay on top of that. In an 11-week class, you're going to find that you're going to be scrambling a little bit to stay caught up, because we have 4 fewer weeks in the course. But if you stay organized, you'll be fine. If you don't, it's going to be difficult. So if you have questions, problems, or issues, and you're starting to get behind, email me or call me, and I can work with you and try to help you out. But at the beginning of the semester, I just wanted to kind of communicate to you some of the basics of the class. Oh, I know. One last thing with the class that I wanted to tell you is when you click on the course, and of course the announcements comes up and so on, and the main link you're going to use is assignments. But in tools for the course, you can go to the discussion board, and that's where you're going to be posting the discussion board postings. I'll click on that real quick. When you do the discussion board, like the introductory discussion board, you click on it, and then you create a thread, and then you'll type your first and last name, introductory discussion board. You can type the discussion board, and you can click submit, and it will be posted. But otherwise, in tools as well, I wanted to tell you, you can also send email. So if you want to send email individually, or if you want to send it to the whole class, if you want to send to me, you can click on email, but you can select user. So you can, like I said, you can email fellow classmates, email me, or whomever. And then under tools as well as grades. Check your grades with regularity, my grades. Let me know if I made an error or whatnot, and I will correct it. So, that's where we are. And with the discussion boards, it's probably to your advantage if you type them in Word first and then copy and paste them into the discussion board. And the reason for that is you can see spelling errors, punctuation, and those sorts of things. And the other problem, sometimes technology fails. And I've taken online classes before where I type, really involved discussion board and you click submit and it just disappears. So I would encourage you to type and edit first in Word and then copy and paste it. So that's it. I've gone on far too long. Thank you.